So, are you into all this sustainability stuff? Like wondering how King Charles is making the monarchy a little more eco-friendly. Well, get this. We're diving into this piece. King Charles III goes full gas on eco-friendly royal travel, and let me tell you, it turns out even crowns can go green.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of wild, right? Because we all know the whole royal family thing, right? All that pomp and circumstance. It doesn't exactly scream eco-warrior, does it?
No, not really. Not exactly bicycles and living in the woods, are they?
Exactly. So you can imagine my face when I'm reading this thing and it says King Charles is converting his state vehicles, like the official cars to run on biofuel in the royal fleet. That's something else.
Yeah, that's a pretty big change. See, biofuel, it's not like the perfect answer or anything. It's got ups and downs, but it is a step away from all that fossil fuel stuff,
Yeah.
right? And to do it with something as noticeable as the Queen's Bentley, that's sending a message.
Makes you think though, doesn't it? Is it just for show? Or is he really committed to this whole eco thing? I think the article mentioned it was a temporary thing, right?
Yeah, for now. The plan is to eventually switch the entire fleet over to electric vehicles. Now, that's a real challenge.
Yeah.
Way more than just the biofuel thing, don't you think?
Oh, totally. We're talking about a ton of cars. And they've got to be ready for anything, right? It's one thing for, like, I don't know, the Queen to pop to the shops in a Tesla, but a whole motorcade, all electric. That's something else.
You got it. And it's not even just about the cars. Think about, like, all those charging stations they'd need, making sure they're always charged up and ready to go. The cost, it'd be massive. It's like a huge experiment in using electric cars, and everyone's watching.
You really start to see how big of a deal this is. And it's not just the cars either, is it? They've got the whole Royal Air Fleet to think about.
Oh, yeah. The helicopters, getting rid of carbon emissions for planes,
Yeah.
that's a tough one. Probably even harder than switching to electric cars.
I bet. So what's the plan? Are they going to start flying around in hot air balloons?
Not quite. Think sustainable aviation fuel. SF, they call it.
SAF. Okay, break that down for me. What is that?
Okay, imagine this. A royal helicopter, right? But it's running on fuel made from, like, used cooking oil.
Yeah.
No, it sounds crazy, right? But that's what SLF is all about. They make it from stuff like waste oils and plants, so it's way better for the environment than that regular jet fuel. And they're serious about it. They're even putting in a special SAF tank at the RAF base.
Wow. A whole separate tank just for that. They're really serious about this, huh? This isn't just some publicity stunt. They're actually making big changes. What do you think? Seems like a real effort, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. And it goes further than just fuel. This article also mentions something about being more mindful with their travel plans.
What, like no more spontaneous trips around the world, less jet setting on a whim?
Exactly. They're cutting back on unnecessary flights, really thinking about the environmental cost of every trip they take. And it's not just them either. It's like a global thing. People are thinking about their carbon footprints. Even big companies are trying to cut back on business trips.
Right. Everyone wants to be more sustainable these days, even royalty. But how far can they actually go with all this? I mean, their whole lives are basically built around traveling and being a bit, well, extravagant.
Good question.
Yeah.
That's where it gets really interesting, because this article introduces us to someone who might just be the key to a truly green monarchy. Ruth Knight. Ruth Knight, right. She's the head of sustainability now for the whole royal household.
Head of sustainability. Sounds like they invented a whole new job title for this. Pretty 21st century for the monarchy, don't you think?
I know, right? But that's the thing. They created this whole position, this high up. It's like they're making a statement. They're serious about this.
Okay, but is it real? Or just for show? What's the deal with this Ruth Knight?
Well, from what I read, she's the real deal. She's got, like, serious experience in environmental stuff, like
Yeah.
a proven track record.
Hmm.
Doesn't seem like they just brought her in for good PR. Seems like she actually cares about this stuff.
Okay, good to know. It's a big job, right? We're not just talking about changing light bulbs in Buckingham Palace. This is a whole institution.
Absolutely. It's like they have to build sustainability into everything they do. How they travel, how much energy they use, even the stuff they buy. Every single thing has an impact.
Right. But it's still the monarchy, you know? There are certain, well, expectations. They can't just start roughing it, can they? How do you balance that with sustainability?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can they actually change things, or is this just symbolic?
It's tricky, right? Because people might just see it as a publicity stunt.
Yeah, I can see that. It'd be easy to be cynical.
Huh?
All the private jets and fancy parties, people are going to say, see, They don't actually care.
Yeah, there's always going to be that. But you can't ignore how powerful symbols are. People are looking for someone to lead the way on this stuff.
So it's more complicated than just saying it's all fake.
Exactly. What's interesting here is it makes us think about different kinds of change. Yeah, what we do as individuals matters. But what if you're King Charles? What you do, it's seen by everyone. If he can show that even a king can care about sustainability, that means something, right?
So it's less about being perfect and more about showing that even small changes matter. Right. And that's what's so fascinating about Ruth Knight's job. She's got this amazing opportunity, not just to change what the monarchy does, but how the whole world sees them.
It's like they handed her a megaphone. Everything she does, everyone will be watching.
Totally. So can King Charles really make the monarchy green? Who knows? But by hiring Ruth Knight, by really trying to change things, he's definitely sending a message.
So what's next? What are you most interested in seeing from them?
Well, I'm curious to see if they actually follow through. It's one thing to say you're switching to biofuel or to hire someone like Ruth Knight, but do they actually change how they do things?
Yeah, it's like anyone can talk the talk, right? But walking the walk, that's the real test. Or in this case, I guess it's about driving the electric cars and flying the, what was it, the SAF jets.
Exactly. And it's got to be more than just checking boxes on some sustainability checklist, right? They have to really mean it, make it part of everything they do. That's how real change actually happens.
It makes you wonder, though, how can you even tell if they're actually making a difference?
Well, that's the really interesting part, because it's not just about like their own little scorecard, like how much gas they save or how much garbage they recycle. It's about the bigger picture.
What do you mean?
Think about it. Every time the royal family makes a green choice, it makes headlines, right? People are talking about it. It's on the news. And those conversations, they can get other people thinking.
Oh, right. Like, they set an example, and not just for the other royals, but for, like, everyone, really. People see it and think, well, if they can do it, maybe we can too.
Exactly. That's where they have real influence. It's not just about what they do themselves, but about showing everyone what's possible. They're showing that sustainability isn't just some fad. It's something that everyone can get behind, even, the royal family.
So you're saying that this whole eco thing with King Charles, it's not just about, like, making the monarchy a little less wasteful. It's about getting everyone else on board, too.
Absolutely. It's about making it normal, even cool, to care about the planet. And who knows, maybe that's how we actually make a difference with this whole climate change thing.
Makes you think, doesn't it? The future of the planet, and it all comes down to what a king decides to do.
It really does. And that's what I love about these deep dives. They make you see the world in a whole new light.
I hear that. So, to everyone listening, don't just sit there. Get inspired. If the monarchy can start making changes, imagine what we can do in our own lives.
Right.
Something to think about, at least.
For sure. Every journey starts with a single step.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, those steps will lead us all to a better future.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with that thought. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Catch you next time.